right? Yeah. Is there any audio at all? Like, I'll be able to hear something, right? Like so. Oh dear. I can't have myself streaming back at me. That's no good. Can I hear any music? I cannot. Mr. Subin, how are you doing? General cards for you. KK. KK, Mr. Subin. How are you doing, by the way? It's been a while. I hope you're doing good. So I just put the volume of the music up. I guess I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I don't know if you noticed this. Well, I'm going to show you now. Hey, Blizz Liz, and you're welcome, and thank you for tuning in today. So Mr. Subin, I don't know if you noticed this here, but this is not the deck that I usually work with. This is a Rider-Waite's clone. It's called the Modern Witch Tarot. So I'm going to do your general reading with these cards, you know, for something new. General reading, Mr. Subin. Let's see what kind of progress we've got for you. Let's see what's changed for you since the last time you read. 10 of Wands for you. 10 of Wands in reverse, Mr. Subin. So what is this card saying to me? It's kind of saying to me that you've been carrying too much. You know, you've got all of these different desires, and you've set all these intentions in motion. Some of them don't serve you anymore. Some of them are actually holding you down, weighing you down. They're not actually manifesting, and you know, you got to let go of some of it. You're carrying too much, trying to take all of it through. Let me think of an example. It's like, so I decide I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist, I want to be all of these different things. And so I start doing things to make that a reality. I get myself an instrument, I get myself all of these different things. And as the journey goes by, I realize that certain desires that I have here, some of them are more important to me than others. And not all of them can fit together, not all of them complement one another. And so trying to continue with all of those desires and all of those intentions becomes very heavy and very difficult. And so that's what this 10 of Wands is saying to me, is that you've been hanging on to all of these different things. They're not compatible with each other, but you're still reluctant to let go of the ones that are of lower importance to you. In the present, I have the 3 of Discs. 3 of Discs. So initially this card kind of talks to me like realizing what is required of you in your physical world, like to keep yourself secure, to keep clothes on your back, to keep enough food in your fridge. It's like realizing what is going to be required of you in order to maintain your security. That's the first thing that comes out, the first thing that jumps out at me when I look at this card. Yeah, in this card I've got an artist drawing a picture of a woman, and there's a teacher instructing the artist. So it's like the artist wants to develop in that. The artist wants to secure herself with, or himself, through the art. And you know, she realizes she's going to have to practice, she realizes she's going to have to learn from her teacher, set aside her pride, and really dedicate her focus and time. So that's what it kind of talks about, you realizing what is actually going to be required of you. You've got this idea of what you want regarding your physical security, regarding your health, regarding your diet, regarding your income. Like you're still in school, so you don't really have an income as of yet. Maybe you're getting your first job now, or you're choosing what you want to do, and it's like you're realizing what that's going to require of you in the long run. And that's a good place to be in. And the card is the right way around, so it's like you're feeling hopeful, like it's something you can accomplish, and that is the truth. Whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish. Future interval is the Hanged Man, the Hanged One, number 12. And this card, it just talks about having to tap into your creativity in order to break through, overcome certain challenges. It's saying that there will be challenges on the horizon. First of all, regarding your desires. Second of all, regarding your security. There will be challenges, what you want to manifest. There will be obstacles along the way. And this Hangman card, it says you're gonna have to deliberately face the discomfort, the things that you don't enjoy experiencing. You're gonna have to deliberately face them, because that they are between you and your goals. They're between you and your destination. So you're gonna have to face them in order to make a breakthrough. And that is your reading. Of course, Liz, you can get a reading. You'll be up next. And God's Abundant Blessings, welcome. And Nikki, what is that symbol? What is that symbol? Libra? I think. Nikki Libra. A general love reading, please. Of course. Nikki wants to know, can I ask current feelings of Yogesh towards me? God's Abundant Blessing says what? My angel wants me to do at present. What is that they want me to know? Okay, so Bliss Liz is next, then God's Abundant Blessing, and then Nikki Libra. I'm going to read from this same deck for you, Liz. No, I'm sorry. My intuition is calling the thought deck. I'm far more familiar with the spirit of this deck. So this is the Thought Tarot. I call it the Thought Tarot. We're going to consult with the spirit of thought. Okay, general love reading. Here we go. Eight of Wands. This is the first card I'm drawing for you. The picture on the card is very abstract. It's very geometrical. It's not very much like the Rider-Waite cards. But what this card, it talks to me, it's like having to make adjustments to your intentions, having to make adjustments to your expectations, like shifts. So when you went into the relationship that you're currently in, you had a certain idea, you had a certain picture of like the outcome, or you thought you had a good idea of what your intentions were. You thought you had a pretty clear picture of what you wanted from the relationship. But then as you went along, you realized that those intentions and those desires were the same as they had been in the past. It wasn't anything new. And you realized that wasn't actually compatible with who you wanted to be. Those intentions, those expectations were not actually compatible with the kind of relationship you dream of having, the healthy, full relationship. So you realize you had to make some shifts and changes to those expectations and those intentions. Sure, we always go into a relationship with some intentions that are self-serving and some intentions that are selfless. So it's like you recognizing that and seeing what has to shift there. What did you believe was selfless that wasn't? What did you believe was selfish that wasn't? And adjusting accordingly. Hey, Fire Barney. You know, that's something that I've noticed as well. Channels that haven't been online in a while, I can't find them in my list of channels that I follow. I have to search them directly. Okay, Liz, in the present we've got Ten of Cups in reverse. So, what is this talking about? Like, my Ten of Cups in reverse looked like me cowering underneath the table, wailing and weeping and begging for Jesus to save me from all the pain I was experiencing. So I was I know, pretty funny. So it was after my divorce. So this is like emotions reaching their fullness. It's like reaching their maximum. So I was pushing them away. I didn't want to face that grief, that pain of loss. So I was pushing it down, and it started to manifest itself as like negative side effects in my life, like lack of motivation, depression, all of these ugly side effects started to happen because I wasn't facing the pain of the loss of the divorce, the loss of that relationship, the loss of the distance between myself and my daughter. And then it came full circle on me. You can only ignore it for so long before it spills over. And that's, it's kind of saying to me that you haven't fully realized the pain of the loss from your last relationship that you've come out of, and it's catching up with you in the present. So what this card wants to say to you is like, don't resist it anymore. Let it flow through you. Just express the feelings, mourn, cry, weep, cower under the table and cry out to Jesus if you need to. Express it, and at that time I didn't know all that I know now. The advice I can give you in hindsight is to do something creative, like write, while you're experiencing the difficult emotion and the pain, to actually write about it. You can even address a letter to that person, maybe draw a picture, sing. We want to express the emotion in some kind of constructive, creative form. It really helps to channel and release it. Future interval is number 9, 9 of Cups, and this card is literally called happiness. So it's like what the 9 of Cups happens right before the 10 of Cups. So you've been going through the 9 of Cups reverse. That's where you like pushing the emotion aside. You're not really ready to face it. It's too much pain to face, and then it spills over in the 10 of Cups reverse. It's saying that once you express and release those emotions, then you're going to be in the 9 of Cups the right way around. You're going to get to really evolve, grow into those feelings of happiness and satiety and contentment within the relationship that you are in, to really recognize all of the emotional abundance that's there, and eventually move into a 10 of Cups the right way around. A full expression of positive emotion. And that's your reading. I hope that it encourages you. I mean, I have to say Selah, Let's pause for a moment and recognize the magnitude of what has been revealed in that spread. You're welcome. And thank you. Singing my heart out while walking through town with headphones, people smiling, so it can't be that bad, lol. I'm glad you're having a good time, Fire Barney. Okay, so we have God's abundant blessings and then Nikki Libra. I do recognize your name, Nikki Libra. You've been here before. It's been a while, but welcome back. Catching up with my chat. Fire Barney says, can I join the queue please? Also on phones, can't see your about, etc. We'll send it when I'm home. Fantastic. No problem. You are in the queue. And Gopika Carol, please confirm that you're still here. God's abundant blessings. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Nikki Libra. Bippity boppity boop. Why have you unjoined the loop? Okay, moving on, I guess. Moving on. So I'm going to read from this Rider-Waite's clone for you, Nikki, because we have read for you from the Thought Tarot many times before. Okay, so as I'm understanding, Fire Barney, you would be next after Nikki, unless Gopika Carol comes back out of the abyss. And Nikki wants to know about the current feelings of Yogesh toward me. What did you do, Nikki? What did you do? I don't know what Yogesh is thinking and feeling. Is that morally acceptable? Is that morally acceptable? I feel like you've known him for a while. My spirit tells me to change the question up, you know, shift it up a bit, and not tell you what he's feeling, and rather tell you what you've been projecting, what kind of image you've been putting there for him to see, and how you can change it. You can change your world by changing yourself inside. No, I'm not going to tell you what he's thinking. I'm going to tell you what you've been trying to make him see. Whether you've been aware of it or not, you've been trying to make him see you a certain way. And we're going to find out if that has been in your interest or if that has been to your detriment. I don't ask questions anymore. You know, like you guys ask questions. My spirit hears it. I don't need to say it again. I realized. I also realized that you can ask your question after I've laid the cards down. The spirit already knew what you were going to ask. So I guess it doesn't matter what your question is. The tarot is going to tell you what you need to hear. And here we are with the Five of Wands. And this is a very interesting card. Like there's a bunch of androgynous, non-binary individuals stick fighting, basically, in that card. It's cool. They're all clashing, they're like fighting their wands, banging their wands together. So first of all, that like makes me think of dick measuring, you know, when you're like when you're with a group of people and everybody's feeling insecure and everyone is like trying to make themselves out to seem big and strong and like, oh, I know this and I've done this and I've been to this place and I have so much money in my bank account, or my TV's bigger than yours, and everyone's measuring their dicks. It's kind of it's kind of the energy I'm getting from this card. But it is also saying to me that you have been doing the best that you can. Like you want something out of this relationship, whether the relationship is platonic or romantic at this stage or sexual. It's not really specifying on that, but it's saying that you have like an outcome in mind with Yogesh, and so you've been doing what you think is necessary to get there, and you've been doing the best that you can. However, it's been looking like dick measuring, you know? You feel like you are doing the best that you can. You don't feel like you are doing the best that you can, but what that looks like in real time is you comparing yourself to him. It's like you feel insecure, like he's better than you or he has more than you, and so you're constantly trying to prove your worth or demonstrate your worth, and it's not in your, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just wants to make you aware of it. The card just wants you to notice that it's happening. 10 of Wands in reverse. So you got to let go of some of your desires and some of your expectations. That's what this card is saying. It's saying like you want things in your life, you want things, you want this relationship, you want a certain level of financial security, you want certain level of health and fitness, you want to take up new projects and learn things and start studying things, and there's too much that you're trying to carry at once. So you've got to look at what's most important to you, what's a priority, and let go of other things. So is a relationship with Yogesh really that important to you, or is your livelihood more important? What's most important to you here? Because there are some things that you're going to have to let go of. Not permanently, you can pick them up again later, like a relationship. It might be a bad idea right now, in the present. That's what this card is saying to me. It's saying that you have a lot of things you want to do and accomplish, a lot of intentions, and this relationship might be too much. You know, it might distract you, it might be a hindrance, it might slow you down. So it's saying focus on yourself for now, and you know, once you've accomplished these goals, once you've ticked off these desires, have a look again at relationships. Welcome, S-N-E-H-A, Sneha. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen your name in the chat before, although your profile picture kind of looks familiar. Did you change your name? Which city is good for my career, J or D? Zintani, that's a cool name. Welcome. Sneha says I did change my name. Okay, welcome back. 3 of Swords. And this one is for Nikki. Nikki, you got a 3 of Swords here. This is your last card, your outcome card, your key to the future. It's saying to you, nourish your plans, particularly your intellectual plans, your like educational goals, the things you want to learn. When you acknowledge what's going to be required of you and you commit to it, you say, okay, I realize that I want to learn about chemistry, and I realize that that is going to require I do this course, and that course requires that I have so much money, or whatever the case might be. But realizing what will be required of you to reach that goal, that is how you nourish your plans. Is first of all recognizing how you have to get there, what's going to have to change, what you're going to have to do to get there, and then commit to it and say, I actually can and will do that. And then you start taking steps towards it. Then you start adjusting your routine, your daily time and routine. Thank you for that follow. It is a follow, isn't it? It's like about to disappear off the screen, and it's gone. Thanks for the follow. I think it was a follow. You need an emergency tarot reading, you can pay. Having a look. But Nikki, it's saying, yeah, your goals, you need to nourish your goals, first of all, by acknowledging what will be required of you to fulfill those goals, and then committing to it and saying, actually, I can do this, and I will do this. You are at the point where your goals you're like, this relationship, this 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands in reverse, all of these things that you're carrying, this is the only thing that can undo your goals. As soon as you let go of the desires that are too much for you, because you've got a lot of things you're carrying, as soon as you let go of the ones that are not serving you, or that are not so important to you, then your goals cannot be undone anymore. Another one from Zini. Okay, I'm having a look. I just had to finish that. Excuse my tardiness. What? There's nothing. There's no messages. What? Aha! There's a message. There's a message from Zintani. $16 US. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that support and that blessing. yeah, I'm gonna prioritize you now for 6 cards, and yeah, priority for 6 cards, because that's how it works. You also added to that like list of names over there, by the way. That's a raffle. You know, it says help us get off grid to win a tarot deck. So basically all of your tips and donations are going towards taking this channel off grid. Solar system, we're almost there, getting closer every day. And $9 or more, it gets you a bunch of things. It gets you 6 cards, it gets you skipped in the queue, and it adds your name to the raffle. So let me know what your question is, and I will read for you. Love reading, very bad. KK. KK. Let's do that. Thank you to everyone for your patience and your understanding. This deck smells like an old book. You're welcome, Nikki. Okay. Connecting to Zintani. Connecting to Zintani's relationships and love life. Connection established. Let's see what the cards are saying. So that card is your general overview. It's like generally describes your situation and your present. This is a crossing card. This kind of helps us understand why the present looks the way it looks. It's something that you'll be able to use to your advantage once you're aware of it. This is your conscious mind. This is like things that are going on in your mind, in your conscious mind, things you're fixating on, obsessing about, thinking about. This is your unconscious mind. This is like what's influencing you and your present and your relationship that you might not even be aware of, that you're processing unconsciously. Things that you might even be seeing these things in your dreams and not knowing what's going on there. This is past. This is where you've come from. This is things that are closing. This is the future. This is things that are opening up, new opportunities. It's usually like a key. It's like a key that helps you unlock the future that you want. Things that are about to open up. Okay, let's see. We've got a 6 of Cups in the present. So this is very encouraging for me to see. 6 of Cups talks about evolving through it. It's like evolving through your relationship. You have all of these emotions, positive and negative, and you have been doing the best that you can with them, best that you can to express them and cope with them in a healthy way. And this relationship is teaching you new and better ways to cope with those emotions and to express them and to communicate with subtlety and grace regardless of a difficult emotion. You know, not allowing it to spill over or blaming your partner or making them responsible for your triggers. You're learning better ways to interact emotionally. Now, not only are you learning from them, they are learning from you, because you have a piece of the puzzle and they have a piece of the puzzle, and you're like fitting the puzzle pieces together through this relationship. Ten of Discs, very interesting. 10 of Discs as a crossing card. This is very interesting. What is this saying to me? So this card is like seeing the results of your efforts that you've sown, and that's specifically to do with your physical world. So that's like work, that's like health, fitness, diet. So you have set things in motion regarding this physical sphere. You're like, okay, I'm going to start this new job, or I'm going to start this new financial project, or you, in addition to that, you're like, I'm also going to cut down on my sugar intake, and I'm going to take walks every second day, or whatever it is, and you committed to it for long enough that it's like it's actually coming full circle. And this is not something that you did alone. these commitments that you made, you committed up to alongside your partner, whoever that is, whether your relationship is sexual or romantic yet. It's not specifying, it's just saying that like it wasn't, you didn't do this alone, you didn't make these decisions alone. The person that your interest or your partner is there with you in it. And it's like through that process that you guys are learning from each other, because there are resistances. When you start a new job, there's a lot of shit that comes out, a lot of baggage. When you start cutting down on sugar, you get all of these withdrawal effects. When you're exercising, again, you'll have days where you're like really bleak and self-loathing. So it's through this process of like moving towards your own objectives that all this baggage comes up, and then you're teaching each other how to express that stuff in a healthy way. Conscious mind. Conscious mind is a 10 of wands. So we got a lot of 10s here. That's all about completion. It's like things coming full circle. 10 of wands is about intentions and desires. So it's saying that all of the intentions that you've sown into your like family, into this relationship, most of it was positive. This card is saying most of it was healthy, positive, powerful, passionate, and it's all coming to a close now. So if you are like any of the fears that you have, if you're afraid that he is being dishonest about something, or if you're afraid that whatever it is that you're nervous about, have a look at yourself and see if you've done any of those things since this relationship started. Because this card is saying that whatever is going on right now, it is you seeing the completion of your own intentions that have gone into this relationship. Now it's saying that those intentions have been healthy and good and fiery and passionate. So that would be what you're reaping in the present. If there are fears, check them against yourself and see, have I been dishonest? Because if you've been dishonest, then you can say, okay, yeah, then it is possible that there is some dishonesty happening from his side. If not, then you'd be like, that fear is irrational. If you haven't been sowing that intention, you're not going to be reaping that intention. That's what this card wants to say to you. It's like whatever's going on up here, check it against your own reflection. Because if you have sown that intention, then it's there. If you have not, then it's irrational. Unconscious mind is a Knight of Discs. Okay, so this 10 of Wands, I can see it a bit more clearly now. You were talking about changes. That change is specifically to do with like moving and jobs. So whatever you were doing to secure yourself and make sure you had enough for rent or whatever it is, that fell away. It died. That's what this Knight of Discs in reverse is saying. That old way of securing yourself, it disappeared, and you had to make new plans. You had to apply your ingenuity, your creativity, come up with new solutions, and you did, and it's a good thing. This Knight of Discs, it's saying that whatever change you went through, it was a death of the old and a birth of the new. That new stuff that was birthed is more authentic to who you are truly. So that experience of going through that rebirth, it hasn't fully taken effect. It's still affecting you unconsciously. Any kind of fears that you might be having, any of these difficult emotional experiences that are coming up for you, they are still influenced by that. They're still influenced by the fear or the aftershock. You know, there was a lot of stress when you went through that shift, when you went through this rebirth, and that was, I don't know if that was being fired or if that was just business falling down or getting slow and you're not having enough income and having to make a new like side hustle. So that was a very stressful period. And you haven't fully realized how much that's impacting you in the present, how much that's impacting your decisions in the present, your fears in the present, your relationship. It's all being impacted unconsciously by that rebirth. Excuse me, Exclaim is being himself, and it's hilarious. Welcome, Exclaim. Okay, so Zintani, your past interval here is the Queen of Swords. So, Queen of Swords usually talks about having expectations. It's like when you come up with ideas were popping in your head. This is past interval, so it's things that are closing. It's kind of saying Yeah, it's saying to me that during this rebirth, you went into like a little bit of self-isolation, and all of these ideas were coming to you. You had all of these great, fantastic ideas, creative ideas, solutions to problems. You were tapping into your ingenuity, but you were also sitting still. You weren't actually applying any of those ideas. You weren't setting them in motion. You did, not all of them though. A lot of them came in and went out, and that contributed to your stress, because it's like you have all of these ideas but then nothing changes, nothing's manifesting, and that was stressful. At some point it clicked for you, hey, if I'm going to have these ideas, I need to put them in motion if I want to see a result. And so that is what brought you into the present, where we have this 10 of discs, which is like seeing the results of those things you set in motion. Those ideas, you put them in motion. The first thing you did was communicate about it. Talk to your partner. Hey, I've got these ideas. What do you think? How can we put this in motion? And then, then opportunities arose for you to seize that change and those outcomes, and you committed to it, and you sowed the seeds and you planted them. You planted the seeds and you watered them every day. You didn't neglect them. They didn't die. You actually saw results starting to manifest because you were committing to your ideas. Basically what I've done, Zintani, is I've captured a reflection of your soul and just plopped it here so that I can look at it. I'm not stalking you, except in this moment. You give me consent. Future interval, fucking fantastic. Number 21, the universe. So this is what's opening up for you, and this is one of my favorite cards. Like sometimes I'll read for myself and I'll be like, why do I have to have a fortune in reverse? Why do I have to have a death card and a devil card and a tower card? Oh, I don't want to have these cards. I want to have a universe card. I want to have a star card. So you've got a universe card in your future here. And okay, so in this card we see the star goddess is dancing with the serpent. So that's symbolic. You are the star goddess, and the serpent is your own shadows. It's the parts of yourself that slow you down, that hinder you. Here's an example. I want to write an article, or I want to write a book, but every time I open the laptop I end up on a rabbit hole of scrolling through social media. So that's my shadow aspect coming up to restrict me and keep me away from my outcome, because this card is like, as above, so below. Whatever I can visualize, I can manifest. And then there's that shadow aspect of the self which comes up to restrict you so that you can't have what you're seeing in your mind. And then the solution is to dance with it, Okay, I see, I get distracted, I go on this wacky ass rabbit hole. Let me keep social media on one device, and I will, like, this device, erase all social media shit. This device is dedicated exclusively to Microsoft Word. That one I can use for social media. So this is an example that I'm using right now. It's kind of saying to you that you have seen your shadow aspects. Like, you've been doing this long enough that you have seen it, and you are dancing with that serpent. You are dancing with your shadow aspect. It can no longer restrict you. Anything you can visualize, you can manifest, because you know how to work around your triggers and your shadow. So that's kind of an encouragement, both within your relationship and within whatever financial projects you've been working on. It's some encouragement. It's saying to you, don't stress so much, because as above, so below. You've reached that point, as within, so without. There's nothing to restrict you or keep you away from what you're trying to create for yourself. How's your soul look? It's very encouraging. It's very encouraging. These cards, they show me some hardship, they show me some difficulty, but what's inspiring for me is how you're responding to that adversity. It's like you are responding to that adversity, you're evolving through it. It's like some people get smacked and they fall. You're like going into overdrive mode, like Superman mode, because of adversity. And that is fucking cool to see. Well, you're all most welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Sorry for freaking you out, but I hope that it gives you some hope. That spread was mostly about recognition. It was saying to you, you've actually been coping, all of these things that have been hitting you, like the universe has been throwing darts at you, but the way you've been coping with it is actually, it's having the effect that you need it to have. It's having the effect you desire. So, don't stress so much, because you've pretty much got it under a handle. And yeah. Oh my god, Zintani. Thank you so much. That's all I can say. Thank you. All the seeds that you sow will return to you 777 fold. I mean. You cut nicotine, hectic. I have done the same. Kudos to you. Where am I? Like, almost 2 months. Almost 2 months clean. Where are you? Exclaim was saying, I connected the chat and I hear some kind of fart sound, and that must be another aspect of your power. Being myself, that sounds like I'm on the handicap spectrum. I have to say you might be right. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much, Exclaim. I am doing pretty well. Hope the same applies to you. Is that the farting sound you're hearing? That's the light bulb. You want to stalk him for you. I want you to stalk him for me in regards to me now. Okay, we can do that. I've like completely forgotten what my queue looks like. Okay, so I don't really need his name. I don't need a question either. Okay, tell you how he feels about you. Okay, that's what we're doing. Did you hear that? Fantastic. I know we talked about it, and you said to me that you didn't want me to be like prying into other people's minds, but why are you giving me cuck about it? I told you that we would make a compromise where if it's like a partner, if it's like a married couple, then we would do it, we would help them see one another. Yes, exactly, because marriage makes people one. It's like we become one individual. Literally enter into each other. On a physical and soulful level. Damn straight. Exclaim says he's good. Glad to hear it. We're very glad to hear that you're doing well, Exclaim. 7 of discs. 7 of discs. Okay, I get it. 7 of discs is like him, it's like him going through this weird phase where he's like not sure if this relationship is what he wants. Like not sure if like all these decisions that you guys are making and all of these changes, and not sure if he's ready to commit to that, or if he wants to, if he's actually going to knuckle down and do the work. yeah, he was looking at all of the possibilities. He was like, I actually, if I leave this relationship, there's endless possibility for me. And that looked very tempting, but he didn't change his decision. You know, he decided to stick with the decision he'd already made, which was you and the relationship you guys have and the decisions you guys have made. So yeah, he went through a period where he was like tempted by all of the endless possibilities that were outside of the relationship, but then he realized that, you know, he doesn't have any of that. Where he is right now, he has something of value, and you know, to throw away something of value for the possibility of something else is unwise, and he realized that, and he saw that. So he decided to stick with what he'd already chosen. Excuse that sound. Decided to stick with you. 10 of Cups. So he feels very full. This card is literally called satiety. He's very satisfied with this relationship, the way that it is. His emotional being is full and satisfied. All of his cups feel like they're overflowing. A lot of good vibes going on for him. Like he feels like the trust between you two has grown so much since it began. You guys have invested into each other, choosing to trust, choosing to love, and then, you know, actually seeing that reflected. Like for him, he's like, I choose to trust you even though I'm scared, and then you don't betray that trust, and that helps build the trust for him. And it's like this back and forth of putting stones in the building that is your relationship, the tower that is your relationship. And he's feeling very content and satisfied with you and the state of your relationship. Like everything he has poured into it, he has received in return, and he's very grateful for that. I can tell it to you straight. You don't have to be nice about it. I feel like I am telling it pretty straight. You know, he went through some self-doubt. He found himself fantasizing about things he could possibly have if he wasn't in a relationship with you, but then he changed his mind. He was like, hey, I can't entertain thoughts like that because I don't want to lose the value that I have right here. And he realized that he's actually very satisfied with you and this relationship, and very much content within this relationship, and doesn't need to look for any kind of fulfillment anywhere else. Future interval is a 10 of discs. We saw this one earlier. It's like seeing the results of everything that you've invested. It's like seeing... This one is about emotional satisfaction, emotional investments, trust, love, affection. And this one is about sex, diet, substance abuse, money. And it was about seeing the results, seeing the efforts paying off. So it's kind of saying that you guys haven't yet seen the best of this relationship. Neither of you, not him, not you. You haven't seen the full potential of what you guys actually have together, and it's still on the horizon. So here's like that clarity you want. On behalf of Zintani, should she really walk away? That side to side swinging is a no. You should not walk away. Is there any other movement happening here? Yes, there's a clockwise rotation, and that clockwise rotation is saying to you there's more for you here. Sticking around, there's more for you. I hope that gives you the clarity that you're looking for. Exclaim says, when my time comes, I'd be interested in a reading. Okay, so I'll add you to the queue, exclaim, but I've got to go at 2 o'clock, and that's 15 minutes. So I'm gonna see how many I can get through. Having a look at my queue. Nikki was the last one we did before Zintani. After Nikki was Fireball. Fire Barney was next. Who was after Fire Barney? And Blizzliz, if you're still here, just wanna like say to you, you're welcome to like watch the video again when you get home. You were the second reading, so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to find your reading. After Fire Barney is Sneha on YouTube. So we can probably do Fire Barney and Sneha. If Sneha is not here, we can probably fit you in exclaim. No problem, Fire Barney. You're back just in time. It's now your reading. Ready to do your reading. And you're most welcome, Zintani. And thank you so much. So, Fire Barney, you can ask a question. I'm gonna go ahead and lay a spread. I kind of feel called to use the Rider-Waite deck. I need Rider-Waite's deck. Please give me that deck. Ah. Okay, you know the drill, right? We're just gonna give him some basic advice, and then I'm gonna get clarity. You're gonna give him clarity. You're gonna like touch the pendulum and make it swing. Cool. Thanks. Okay. Basically, is R the right one for Fire Barney? No. Sorry, Barney. Ooh. No. R is not the right one for you. Sorry, I just like had this, I felt this like really tight feeling here and like going downwards towards my gut, and it made my eyes water as I was seeing the pendulum move. 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords. Okay, so in this card there is there's a non-binary figure like sitting up in a dark room. I don't know how familiar you are with the Rider-Waite. Don't know how familiar you are with the Rider-Waite's deck, but there's a whole bunch of swords on the wall in a dark room, and he, she, they is sitting up and like face palming. So this card in reverse, it's saying to me that you have been waking up in the morning and immediately feeling overwhelmed. Like there is too much that has to be done today. You have to communicate with a lot of people. You have to interact with them, clarify things. You've got personal goals, so many of them. There are things you want to learn about. There are things you want to write. There are, you want to stream. You have to go to work. There's all of these goals. And you wake up and you face palm because you're 5 minutes over the clock and you're like, oh my God, there's not enough time. There's not enough time in this day to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. Yeah, anxiety and worry, feeling overwhelmed. So now I've got the Empress in reverse as your second card. The Empress. These cards are cool. So the Empress in reverse, it's like, it's kind of saying to me that the feminine archetype that you're attracted to, or that you're seeing in R, that you desire, it is, you know, it's not necessarily a wholesome or healthy. They're not really wholesome or healthy traits that you're being attracted to here. Like, she's not embodying herself as the Empress. You know, she's not the kind of Empress, she's not the kind of mother archetype that's going to feed her children from her own blood. She's not going to sacrifice of herself for those she cares about. She will do what she can for them, but if she has to put herself down the line, she's not gonna. What else? And there's conditions. She gives life-giving waters, she gives Amrita, she gives life-giving nourishment, but she's got conditions on it. Like, she will only give her love and her time and energy to those who are like, she'll use it as a bargaining chip. Like, hey, if you want this Amrita, if you want these life-giving waters, if you want my nourishment and my support, you're gonna have to change in such a way, or you're gonna have to give me something in return. You know, it's a bargaining chip, and that's not healthy. It's not necessarily unhealthy, but it's not the state, it's not the pure state of the Empress. It's a reverse state of the Empress. To use all of that, you know, all of the gifts that woman has, all the gifts of femininity that woman has, using it as a bargaining chip is not. This is trying to say to you, this is why the pendulum is swinging no, is because of that. She hasn't evolved into her maturity. And it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you with this overwhelm. It doesn't help you with this anxiety or this worry. In fact, it adds to that. Future interval, 5 of Wands. So here's a bunch of non-binary ninjas, and they are stick fighting. They are measuring their dicks against each other. They're stick fighting. So this card, it says to me that you've been doing the best that you can. Like, you have desires and intentions, like you say. It's like, feels like fun, not really love. So you have an inner knowing already of what's going on. But you still have desires. You know, you have passions, lusts, and you're doing the best that you can regarding that. But what it ends up looking like in real time, it ends up looking like a dick measuring contest. Like, she looks bigger than you, or she looks better than you. Like, she has more, or she's accomplished more, or she's it's just like she's above. She likes to give that impression that she's above. So you spend a lot of time trying to prove that you are worthy, that you're on the same level. Dick measuring, basically. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just saying be aware of it, because are you worthy of that? Is that like what you want to subject yourself to? Is that the kind of character you want to be, where you have to constantly measure yourself up? Yeah. Hey Vic, feeling good, feeling cool. Good morning. Morning glory. Miss Cutie Rose, welcome. Hello, how am I? I'm doing good. How are we doing here? Yeah, we're doing fantastically. Sometimes we don't feel like we're doing fantastically, but the truth is that we're doing fantastically. So I hope the same applies to you. I hope you're doing fantastic, and I hope you can see that you're doing fantastic. So who was it? That was Sneha. Sneha, are you still here? Because if you're not, then I'm going to read for exclaim. And then I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce on the Rider-Waite dick. I'm going to bounce on that thought dick.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to say that.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the tarot deck.
The thought deck.
Yeah, the tarot, the thought tarot.
Are you using my tarot?
Yeah, I'm like alternating between them according to what Wisdom is saying. Wisdom is having fat chats in my ear.
Oh wow.
The thought is really like talking my ear off today.
I'm a bit jealous. I spoke to you more than I've talked to you.
Okay, so exclaim, I'm going to throw down some cards for you. I'm going to throw down Rider-Waite's dick and bounce on it. Yes. Definitely is important. I'm going to throw down Rider-Waite's dick and the thoughts will interpret for you. Yeah, I guess Sneha couldn't stick around. Sneha didn't have enough bandwidth to spend the whole day listening to tarot. So I'm waiting for your question. We're waiting for your question. Give us that question. We want a question. Yummy, yummy question. Precious question. And to replace some of my emotional and creative potential. Excuse me while I drink from my cup. Fill my cup. Empty my cup. Both. What's the obstacle I'm working on? 7 of discs. This is cool. This is a cool image. I'm not all that familiar with this deck yet, but it's cool. In this card I see there's a woman. It's definitely a woman this time. And she's like watching her plant grow. She's got one that's like really big and another one in the background that's small. So 7 of discs, it's saying, it's like you have something that you've been working on for a while, like decisions regarding your health, decisions regarding your finances, and you made a decision already. You made a decision and you were taking steps towards that destination. You were watering that plant, nourishing that plant. And then you planted some more seeds, you made some other decisions as well. And you've been watering that too. If the card was reversed, I'd say you completely forgot about your original decision and the growth of that plant you were already watering. And you've put all of your attention and all of your time to the new plant, the new seed, and allow the other one to become neglected and malnourished. But that's not the case. You planted new seeds, you made new decisions, started setting new things in motion, but you didn't forget about the original decision that you made, the original project you were working on. You kept your focus there, you made sure to continue to nourish that one, because that one was closest to completion. You were closest to seeing the results of that. And this is within your health, so that's diet and fitness and finances. Also relationship, like physically intimate relationship. You've planted seeds there, you've been watering it, it's close to completion, you're going to see the results of it. Now you've set other things in motion as well, but you're still focusing on the original plan. And that's good. It's a good thing. It wants to just like commend you for that, say that's right, Don't forget about the decision you already made. Don't forget about the project you have already been working on. You've got all of these other things coming up now. Don't forget about what you originally had set in motion. Otherwise you risk losing it. 9 of discs is in the present. Okay, so over here there is a farmer, and she's in a garden, and she's holding some carrots. Actually, it's non-binary. It's not a she, it's a they. Oh. So this one is saying that you, in the present, you are actually reaping your first harvest. The harvest is very small, so it could be discouraging. You're looking back at something. You're feeling like, hey, I've been working so hard here, what I'm getting out of it seems too little. But it is 9, it's not 10, so it hasn't arrived in its fullness yet. You're reaping the first fruits of the harvest, the very first fruits of the harvest. There is still much more to come. It's like, yeah, when I plant seeds, it doesn't take all that long before I can start harvesting the first few tomatoes, the first few. I can have a meal, my first meal out of my garden. It can happen pretty soon, after a couple months after planting. But when the harvest is ready, to be reaped, there's more than I can eat. There's way more than I can eat. So, yeah, it's saying that your projects you're reaping your harvest, and this is relationships. It's particularly, I feel like this is about a relationship. Something you've been working on, a relationship you've been investing in. And you're starting to see returns, you're starting to see the results of everything you've invested in, but it doesn't seem like enough, and it makes you discouraged, like you should walk away or you should try something else. But this card actually says to you, no, continue to commit. So that's the obstacle that you're dealing with. The obstacle that you're dealing with is your own self-doubt, your own feelings of disappointment, like you haven't made the progress you should have made, but actually you have, and you just need to stick it out a little while longer. During this period, this card wants to say to you, do a bit of self-reflection, have a look at all the efforts that you've made in this relationship, everything that you've changed about yourself, all of the investments of your time and energy and trust that have gone into this person. See where you have made mistakes, see where you have made breakthroughs, take responsibility for both your mistakes and your breakthroughs, so that you can reapply your methods for success and you can avoid repeating any kind of mistake that you might have made. When you have completed that self-reflection, you will move into the fullness of your harvest. You will see the results, the full returns on your investment. You will have overcome the obstacle, put it that way. Future interval is the Empress in reverse. Okay, this is interesting. The Empress in reverse, it tells me that this person, this individual that you are moving towards, that you're trying to manifest a relationship with, that you're investing your time and energy into, this person is still quite immature. Like, she hasn't really tapped into her potential as a woman. She hasn't really contacted her femininity yet. Not truly. Like, she's still discovering what it means to be woman, what it means, what it means to be woman. She hasn't really tapped that yet. And the value that she has to offer as a human being, not necessarily as a woman, but the value she has to offer as a human being, she doesn't fully see it yet. She still believes, she's been told she has this kind of value. She's been told as a woman she has value in sex. She's been told her career gives her value. She's been told that her value is within these certain spheres. She hasn't really seen her own value yet. She's still believing in value that other people have placed on her and said, that's your value. She hasn't really seen, because other people can look at us and they can see value, but only we can actually see the true depths of our value, and she hasn't seen that yet. So this card that's kind of like a warning, saying as you go forward, as you see this 9 turn into a 10, there's going to be some resistances. There's going to be some disappointment, some struggle. How can I put this to words? Like, you're gonna have, she's still gonna have to learn. You're gonna be an example. You're gonna be like a. Okay, in my relationships, I have noticed that when I can see my own value, it inspires my partner to see the value in themselves. And at the same time, it also intimidates them and scares them a bit. It makes them realize that they haven't been seeing their own value this whole time, and that's scary. It's a scary notion. And it comes with all kinds of influxes and defensiveness and resistance. It's like part of the process of breaking through into their full self, into our full selves. So that's still going to be there on the horizon because she hasn't seen her own value yet. So you're a bit older, you're a bit further along, you're a bit more developed emotionally, psychically, spiritually. So yeah, as you are existing authentically, it'll help her see her own authentic value, and that it's going to come with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going to come up as a result. It's just a warning, basically. Yeah, allow yourself to shine, to allow people around you to shine. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. But as you do that, you know, as they start to shine, there's going to be like, they're suddenly going to see all the debris that's around them, all the debris that they couldn't see before because they were not shining. And it's scary. That moment of illumination initially is scary. Take care, all bloody trains. Bloody trains. Let me not even talk about trains. Trains are a fucking nightmare in this country. If they even run. Public transport is a mess. But anyway, thanks so much, guys. Thank you so much, Exclaim. It's now past 2, so I'm gonna bounce on that dick. Bounce off that dick. I don't know. Whatever works, hey? Give me a second, I'll run away. There are only 21 viewers in the tarot section today. That's so sad. So sad. But I hope that that gives you a little bit of direction, Exclaim. You know? Is it my turn? Sorry, Vic. I'm about to head off. I've run out of time to be here today. I've got to go pick up my brother from school, and I've got to do some shopping, and so yeah, I'll have to do a reading for you some other time. Kill it, jerk it off, damn straight. The only annoying thing is that I don't know who you're talking about. Ish. Don't know who you're talking about. That's a difficult one, eh? The only suggestion I can make it's someone you have an interest in, someone you have been like developing a relationship with. I'm seeing the same woman that we were talking about before, that I've done readings for before. She had some daddy issues. She was dealing with trauma from the past at the same time you were. Where did all of my viewers go? There were like 4 viewers and now they like ran away. It's only Exclaim left. Cheers, guys. See you soon.